My name's David Cheney. I'm a CPA here in Houston. I work with a lot of law firms, and I was trying to think, is there another law firm that has their own tower in downtown? I can't think of one, so this must be the biggest and the best law firm. So like I said, I'm a CPA. I have a solo one-person practice. I'm 40 years old, married, and my wife and I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. Last month, I completed my third MS 150, and I competed in my first triathlon. I came in 191 out of 450 men, and it took me 2 hours and 45 minutes to swim 1 mile, cycle 25 miles, and run 6 miles. Neither one of those would be very remarkable because lots of people do that. The thing that is noteworthy is that 3 years ago, I weighed over 300 pounds, and at one point topped out at 375 pounds. I lost 175 pounds, and I did it the same way I gained it, through diet and exercise. I graduated from college when I was 23 years old, and I moved to Houston for my first job. I didn't know a single person when I moved here, and I didn't particularly care for the people I worked with or the work I was doing. So I began to take solace in food and drinking. Over a 5-year span, I gained 150 pounds. February 1st, 2003 is the day my life changed forever. A few days before that, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, broke up with me because she couldn't stand to watch my self-destructive habits any longer. I attended a friend's wedding the next day, and I was arrested for a DWI, leaving the reception. As I sat in the jail cell contemplating how I had gotten to that point, I resolved to turn my life around. I have never had a drink or a cigarette since that night, and after 11 years, I am back to what I weighed when I was 20 years old. Thanks. My weight loss has not been a straight line. I tried some low-carb diets the first few years, and I lost about 60 pounds. And then I didn't lose any weight for 5 years, although I did continue to exercise. 3 years ago, my wife suggested that I join her weight loss plan. I'm not supposed to endorse any particular weight loss plan, but I will tell you that the main point of this one is very simply to eat less and exercise more. That formula has worked very well for me because it is something you can maintain for the rest of your life, as opposed to, say, a low-carb diet, or a liquid diet, or a raw vegetable diet, or a caveman diet, or whatever weird diet comes out next. These are a few tips that I can offer that have worked very well for me. First and foremost is to develop a routine. This is what keeps me on track because it takes a lot of the thinking and temptation out of your daily life. Sunday through Friday, I have a pretty set exercise schedule, and I know the healthy things to eat for meals. Friday night through Saturday night is my weekly splurge and the day off from exercise. Not depriving yourself is very important. You will not be able to maintain any kind of weight loss program if you constantly feel deprived. Second of all, find an exercise that you like. If you don't like running or going to the gym, don't do that because you won't stick with it. The first 6 years I started exercising, I just walked a few miles a day. And honestly, that was all my body could handle at that weight. 5 years ago, I switched to cycling. At first, I kept breaking spokes on my bike because I was so heavy. At one point, the bike shop I go to suggested I try riding motorcycles. I started cycling 10 miles a day and slowly built up from there. In the past 5 years, I've cycled over 28,000 miles. It has figuratively taken me around the world, and next month it literally will. My third suggestion is commit to doing something physical with your friends. 2 years ago, I was becoming concerned that I would never reach my goal of getting back down to 200 pounds. I still had over 60 pounds to go, and I hadn't lost any weight in quite a while. One of the charitable endeavors I am involved with is benefiting survivors of the 1994 Rwandan genocide. This year is the 20th anniversary, which is a major milestone for Rwanda and for genocide survivors. 2 years ago, I conceived the idea of riding a bicycle across Rwanda to raise awareness and funds for the survivors organization I work with. Rwanda is a mountainous country, and riding a bicycle across it is like riding from Denver to the other side of the Rockies. If I was going to do that, then I would have to lose that last 65 pounds. So I started telling people I was going to do it, and that was the motivation I needed to lose the weight. 3 weeks from today, me and 2 other Houstonians will begin cycling from the Rwandan border with Congo to the border with Tanzania. You don't need to do anything this major, but sign up for a 5K with some friends or plan a trip to go hiking in the hill country. The commitment to your friends will help you keep you motivated. And my 4th suggestion is find a support group or an exercise group. My weight loss program has weekly meetings and weigh-ins, and this keeps me on track more than anything else. The accountability is in the back of my mind every time I sit down to eat. I also belong to a cycling team that does the MS 150 and rides once a week. The people I've met in my cycling group the past few years are some of the best friends I've made in the 15+ years I've lived in Houston. I look forward to seeing them and riding with them every week. In closing, I would like to leave you with an anecdote that I think of often when it comes to my weight loss and how I got to where I am. Perhaps some of you have heard of Jim Lovell, the commander of Apollo 13. As you may recall, Apollo 13 was the mission to the moon where the oxygen tanks blew up halfway to the moon and the crew narrowly escaped death by a great deal of luck and a lot of ingenuity on the part of NASA. I watched an interview with Jim Lovell where he was asked if he panicked when he saw a spacecraft was losing its oxygen. He responded that he didn't panic because he knew that even if he and the other 2 astronauts yelled and screamed and bounced off the walls for 10 minutes, they would still be in the exact same spot with 10 minutes less of oxygen. And the point of this is, you're going to have good days and bad days when it comes to weight loss. Things happen in our lives that throw us for a loop. Maybe you're stuck working till midnight on a big case or doing tax returns on April 14th. Small children take up lots of time and even more mental energy. There are family holidays with lots of foods and vacations with even more food. If you let this derail you for 6 months or a year before coming back around to focusing on your health, you're in the exact same situation except now 6 months or a year has gone by. Every day is a fresh start and just do the best you can that day because all the days that came before it don't matter. Thank you.